Hi there, I am Tanya Windiger, and today I want to talk about complex PTSD and changes in your environment, the ones that are kind of outside of your control. So, as you're probably aware of, living with complex PTSD on its own is a challenge that is beyond description, really, because it kind of affects every aspect of your life. It's your physical health, your mental health, of course, but it's the way you relate to other people, the way you see yourself, your relationships. It's the way you can concentrate on your work, and it's beyond description, like I said. So having a change in the environment and having complex PTSD puts a whole different level of difficulty or challenge on top of all of that. So while I must say last year was my very best year ever, and it probably was, or it was due to changes. And as much as a threat changes, like last year my changes, I had a change in medication, I had a job change, and it just made things a lot easier. I slept better again and all this. So it was the first time in my life where I felt kind of inner peace, inner calmness. I've never had that in my life before. I didn't even know that feeling existed. So I was very fortunate to actually have had that experience. But now I'm facing another change. One that is beyond my control again. So while I work in a hospital, they just built a new hospital, and all the staff will now transfer to a new hospital. Now there's no new patients going into the old hospital, everyone's moving there, and it's just like, as you know, it's a change. And that amygdala, I know I get really, really frustrated at times, but I know my brain is just trying to protect myself. This is because of our abusive childhoods and stuff like that, and our brain is hardwired like that, so that amygdala is just so active in the constant triggering anything. I'm really, really sensitive to smells, a change in a smell, a sound, and my startle response is I get really, really sensitive. I don't know what it is like for you, but they're kind of my symptoms, but I'm guessing that you have similar range of symptoms. So with that change, it becomes really, really different, or difficult, to walk into this, despite this new hospital being stunning and beautiful and all that. It's those things that make it really, really challenging to refocus. I can refocus myself constantly at looking at those new rooms, the new wards and things like that, and because the minute or the millisecond you smell something, that amygdala, the alarm response kicks in. And the reason I did this video is because when we are so triggered, our body produces such way more chemicals or hormones or whatever, the adrenaline and cortisol. So they are really, really important for the fight-flight. That helps us to make all those right changes in our body. So we have all that energy to bolt, to run really, really quickly away from that threat. But because now, as adult, it is not really a threat. It's just a smell that I don't even know why that smell triggers it, or a change in smell. So we don't actually get to use up that energy. And the more you get triggered, the more you get loaded with that energy, and you need to let it out. So in those times, it is so important to exercise. I can't stress it enough. You've got to do something physically active to let that out, because otherwise you're just going to snap at all people. It becomes so difficult for myself to just sit back and breathe. It's like, okay, I can deal with this situation. I have to talk myself down, and it becomes really, really tiring. So in those times, the exercises is crucial for me. And also my meditation, I still do my meditation. I go, but especially my breathing exercises, I keep doing them. And I like the one, someone from our support group suggested that once. He called it a stone exercise. I think it's similar to the breathing exercise that I do, but I'll do it lying down, but he also lies a heavy book on his stomach while he does that. So just any sort of exercise that usually helps you to calm, in those times you have to do them even more, do them more regular. And, remind yourself that you have a tremendous inner strength, you're still here and you have the resourcefulness already within you to work out ways to cope with that new environment, and you'll get there. I know when we first diagnosed with complex PTSD, everything's so overwhelming. There was years where I thought I am PTSD. I couldn't step aside and say, hey, that is a symptom of PTSD. That's not me. That's that disease. To separate myself from that, and so I can start working on it. So that has become easier over the years. But the symptoms are still there, and they're going up and down still. So with changes, of course, the symptoms are going up. So I have to be really, really aware that I will have to focus even more on all those habits and routines I put in place over all those years of therapy that helped me to manage the PTSD symptoms, that I use them now in those difficult times and don't give up or let that voice get the better of me telling me all the ugly stuff. So with that, I really, really want to remind you of that you have tremendous inner strength, okay? Lots of love and rainbows, as always, to brighten up those difficult times of change. Bye for now.